Although the Supreme returns in order to pass his days peacefully, he was belittled by everyone. On his wedding day, with a wave of his arm, he summoned the 9 great gods of war to him, who addressed him as their master. Chapter 1. On the southwest border, war between the 9 provinces calmed down. The fortresses were secured. Each of the impenetrable fortresses instilled fear into the enemies. At that moment, within one of the big buildings, a ruler observed a young man. A scowl creased his face. Are you really planning to return to the middle province? You'd like to keep this position of supreme warrior a secret for now? As the ruler, the old man stared into the eyes of the man in front of him. His gaze was filled with respect. Behind the young man were the recently anointed 9 great gods of war. The 9 great gods of war were meritorious. In just 5 years' time, they contributed greatly. Their existence struck fear into their enemies' hearts. The 9 great gods of war were given the official title as gods of war. They enjoyed matchless power and wealth, and would soon be returning to the 9 provinces, each ruling over a province of their own. They had the power to decide life and death. However, at that moment, the 9 great gods of war stood humbly behind the young man. Fane Wood, the one bestowed by Daxia with the title of supreme warrior. His authority was beyond that of the gods of war, the most exalted. Daxia was shocked. The media originally planned to officially announce the identities of the 9 great gods of war along with the supreme warrior. However, for some reason, they had only announced the identity of the 9 great gods of war. As for the supreme warrior's identity, it became a mystery. I wonder how Selena is doing now. Since it's settled here, they don't need me anymore. The hint of a gentle smile finally appeared on that man's chiseled face. Selena was his woman, his wife. Master, can we go with you to meet our master's wife? Behind him, one of the 9 great gods of war, Abner Young, asked curiously. If people found out that the 9 great gods of war behind Fane, with their outstanding service, were his disciples, who knew what their reaction would be? Let's talk about that some other time. Fane sighed, seemingly falling into a pensive mood. 5 years ago, the enemies counterattacked. Daxia suffered heavy losses and coned warriors from all over the country. The Middle Province's Taylor family were trapped by some scheme, forcing the Taylor family to enroll one of their younger generations to set an example for the Middle Province city. Old Master Taylor was advanced in age. Master Taylor had to maintain order, and young Master Taylor was the only one from the younger generation. He was the only male heir. Naturally, old Master Taylor was against having his only grandson to fight on the battlefield as he feared having his bloodline ended. However, the Taylor family could not back out of this. Coincidentally, the delivery boy Fane appeared right then. Old Master Taylor had a sudden epiphany and made Fane marry into the Taylor family by faking a marriage with the Taylor family's second daughter. That allowed Fane to head to the battlefield in young Master Taylor's stead as a member of the Taylor family. Of course, Fane had his own conditions as well. It was to have old Master Taylor pay him $1 million for his sick mother's treatment. Very quickly, the Taylor family's second daughter was forced to marry Fane the delivery boy. That simple wedding ceremony made Selena Taylor into the joke of the century. On the night of the wedding, the dispirited Selena ended up being the one to initiate the marriage consummation with Fane after becoming drunk. The next morning, she cried. On the same morning, Fane was enlisted by the army. That parting lasted 5 years. Over the course of 5 years, Fane had experienced countless life and death situations. However, he managed to endure those hardships with the thought of Selena waiting for him at home. In 5 years, he transformed from the B***starred son of the family into a major figure. Selena, don't you worry. I'll definitely honor my responsibility for you. Fane gripped his fist. With the thought of meeting Selena soon, his usually tranquil heart felt a twinge of excitement. 4 days later, a private plane descended slowly onto Middle Province International Airport. Middle Province, what a nostalgic place. Stepping foot onto this land once again, the corner of Fane's mouth showed the hint of a smile. Fane looked at Lana Zek, then stated slowly, from the moment I left the southwestern battlefield, I'm no longer the supreme warrior. From now on, you can just call me brother. Yes, Master brother Fane. Lana nodded. She was assigned to Middle Province and would be stationed here. She was happy to be returning here with her master. An eye-catching Rolls-Royce Phantom with the plate A99999 was at the airport exit. There was a bodyguard with sunglasses that respectfully opened the car door as a person in his 40s came out. If anyone from a higher class were to find out that this person was Mason Drake, the richest person in Middle Province, their jaws would surely hit the ground. A person that could compel Mason to personally pick him up from the airport was obviously no ordinary person. Today will be worth it if I can see the face of the Queen of Hell, Mason lamented. He knew full well what a god of war represented. Just as he finished his sentence, a man and woman nearby walked toward him. Goddess of war, Queen of Hell, Lana Zex is here, exclaimed one of the bodyguards respectfully as he saw them. Let's go. Mason adjusted his shirt. For the first time, he walked over ever so carefully toward Lana. Mason Drake of the Drake family from Middle Province welcomes the Goddess of War's return. We've already prepared the War God's residence for you. Here's a black card. I hope the Goddess of War likes it. Mason led his men to Lana, bowing slightly as he passed her a black card. However, Lana frowned and calmly stated, your information source is quite good, as expected of the Middle Province's richest person. With that said, she casually looked at the black card and laughed coldly. Since you've arranged a place for me to stay, I'll oblige. As for this card, you can save it for yourself. Yes, of course. Mason wiped away his cold sweat before daring to raise his head. He then kept the black card. This is? Mason looked at Fane as he probed with a question. We're just comrades that joined the army together. It's by chance that I'm returning to Middle Province and we kept each other company. You guys go on. I'll grab a taxi and head back. Fane smiled faintly, then looked at Lana. Keep in contact on the phone. Of course, Lana nodded in response. Upon hearing the exchange, Mason's heart skipped a beat. That was the private plane to send the gods of war. For this person to return alongside the Queen of Hell, his background was definitely something special. Furthermore, to his surprise, the way Lana looked at that man was filled with respect. Very soon, a taxi was parked outside the gate of a row of villas. That was where the Taylor family was located. Fane, having been through countless life and death situations, could not help but smile bitterly as he looked upon the villa's gate. Back then, if not for old Master Taylor's threat with his own life, Selena would not have been willing to marry him. It was also due to the Taylor family's irresponsible attitude toward her marriage that caused her to feel disappointed. That led to her getting drunk and having developed relations with a little delivery boy like him. Although the marriage was originally a fake one, Selena had lost her virginity to him. Just before he departed, she told him that she would wait for his return. That touched Fane greatly. At that moment, Fane had finally returned.